True success comes down to service. And here's the kicker. The more people you learn to serve, for the most part, the more money you make and the more recognition you receive. John F. Kennedy said it best. He said, don't ask what the country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And when he said that, he didn't use that word flippantly like we say, I travel across the country, I got family across the country. He used it to represent people because he knew if you wanted to have the most recognition and achieve the most success, you got to learn to serve as many people as possible. Sam Walton, Bill Gates, Ray Kroc, Steve Jobs, Oprah. I'm not sure if you guys realize this, but we got this thing in our country now that says, hey, what can you do for me? What's in this for me? But see, the true greats always understood it was about serving people, getting people to believe in themselves because you believe in them. Isn't it amazing what people can and will do if they just know that somebody believes in them? It's like magic. First basketball league in which I ever played was called, had a great name, get this, Little Dribblers is what I played in. Little Dribblers is what it was called. Fourth grade on my team was my best friend. His name was Paul Allen. Paul Allen was the tiniest fourth grader I've ever seen in my whole life. Paul was supposed to be in fifth grade. Because he was so small voluntarily, his parents put him back a whole year. He was still the tiniest in fourth grade. Reason I knew how much Paul weighed, I was going to the nurse's office one day and to get my height and my weight tested, and Paul was coming out of the office. As we passed each other, I said, Paul, what did you weigh? Fourth grade, supposed to be in fifth grade, Paul Allen weighed a whopping 40 pounds. Little bitty guy, very short, very thin, but he was a daredevil. He would try anything. But because he wasn't very big and very strong, Paul was not a very good basketball player. But Little Dribblers had a rule. The rule said this. Said every kid on the team had to play at least 1/4 quarter of every game, or your team would lose that game by forfeiting the game. Little Dribblers had their rule. We came up with our own rule. Our rule was called the Paul Allen rule. Paul Allen rule said, put Paul Allen in the first quarter. That will give us 3 quarters left over to try to catch back up on the score. That was the Paul Allen rule. We're in second place playing the third place team. If we beat this team, we get to move on and play for the championship. So we're all excited about this game. On my team were about 3 or 4 guys that usually scored most of the points, and I happen to be one of those guys, but I got to tell you, this was my worst game of the whole year. In fact, I fouled out this game. Didn't foul out in the fourth quarter. Didn't foul out in the third quarter. I fouled out in the second quarter. I was hacking everybody. I even fouled the referee a couple times. I was fouling everybody. Well, the team depended on me, so all these kids started going, what's going to happen now? Who's going to check in? Are we going to win the game? We get to play for the championship. Coach said, everybody just stop. And he looked down at the end of the bench, and there was sitting 40-pound Paul Allen. Already played his quarter. He wasn't concerned about the game. Coach looked down and he said, Paul. Now remember, Paul had this look on his face like, what do you want with me? I already played my quarter. He said, hey, we need you. Go check in. And all the kids on my team started going, wait, Coach, wait, Paul's already played a quarter. We could still win. Don't put him back in. Anybody but Paul, don't put him in. Coach said, I got this. Paul, we need you. Go check in. And I saw this look come over Paul's face like I'd never seen before. I don't think Paul had taken a shot the whole year. I know he hadn't scored a point all year. But that game, Paul Allen became like somebody new. He was dribbling between people, through people, around people. And that game, Paul Allen scored 13 points, and we won the game because of Paul Allen. We got to go play for the championship because of Paul Allen. He was our hero. We carried him off the floor on our shoulders, which was no big deal. He only weighed 40 pounds. But he was our hero for one reason. The head guy in charge, our coach, looked down and said, you are important. And that changed everything for Paul. Isn't it amazing what people can and will do if they just know that somebody believes in them? It's like magic.